Deep within the Emerald Isle lies an ancient forest shrouded in mist and legend, known locally as the Forest of Lost Dreams. Travelers who wander too far into its depths succumb to a sleep so deep that they never awaken. Their bodies are never found, nor are their souls among the living. Some say the trees feed on dreams, trapping those who enter its enchanted realm in a never-ending slumber. Others whisper of a malevolent spirit that lures unsuspecting visitors into a world of illusion, where they become trapped forever. But the truth, as it often does, lies somewhere in between. This is the story of a place where reality blurs, dreams take hold, and the boundaries of the possible are tested. And welcome back, everyone, to another terrifying tale. Within this forest, travelers fall into a sleep so deep that they never awaken. Locals say the trees feed on dreams, trapped in a vision of what they most desire. To enter is to risk losing yourself in a paradise that doesn't exist. As the sun began its slow descent over the horizon, casting long shadows across the Emerald Hills of Ireland, a young traveler named Finnegan O'Reilly found himself at the edge of the Whispering Wood. The air grew colder, sending a shiver down his spine, and the light dimmed, as if the forest itself was swallowing the day. For weeks, he'd heard the locals speak of the magical wood with a mix of awe and terror. Their voices hushed as they recounted tales of those who entered and never returned. Yet something compelled him forward, a curiosity that outweighed his fear. He pushed aside the gnarled branches that formed a natural archway at the entrance and stepped inside. Immediately, the forest seemed to close around him, the trees pressing in like ancient sentries guarding a sacred ground. The path beneath his feet vanished, replaced by a thick carpet of decaying leaves and tangled undergrowth. Fear pricked at him, but he pressed on, driven by an unseen force deeper into the woods. As twilight deepened into night, the trees began to whisper. At first it was a gentle murmur, like the rustling of leaves in a summer breeze. But as Finnegan ventured deeper, the whispers grew louder, taking on a hypnotic quality that seemed to seep into his very bones. He could have sworn the trees were calling to him, beckoning him forward with promises of untold wonders. Then, through the thickening gloom, he saw it, a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent oak, its branches reaching skyward as if in supplication, and beneath it lay a bed of vibrant green grass, dotted with flowers that glowed with an otherworldly luminescence. It was a place of such breathtaking beauty that Finnegan felt his heart skip a beat. Yet as he stepped into the clearing, a sense of foreboding washed over him. The whispers in the trees grew frantic, and the beautiful flowers seemed to writhe and twist as if alive. With a start, Finnegan realized he was not alone. Emerging from behind the trunk of the great oak was a woman of unparalleled beauty. Her hair flowed like a silver waterfall down her back, and her eyes shone with an otherworldly light. She wore a gown that shimmered like moonlight on water, and a crown of woven leaves rested upon her head. As she stepped into the clearing, the whispers in the trees reached a crescendo, and the flowers bowed to her as if in reverence. "Welcome, traveler," she said, her voice like the tinkling of bells. "I am the guardian of this forest. And you, Finnegan O'Reilly, have been chosen." Startled by her sudden appearance, Finnegan stammered, "Chosen? Chosen for what?" A knowing smile played on her lips. "For a gift," she said cryptically, "a gift that will change your life forever." Before Finnegan could respond, the world around him began to shift and change. The trees swayed, forming a circle around him and the mysterious woman. The flowers bloomed, releasing a sweet, intoxicating fragrance that filled the clearing, and the very air grew thick with magic. When the world finally stilled, Finnegan found himself in a place of indescribable beauty. Gone were the dark, menacing trees. In their place stood a vibrant forest bathed in perpetual twilight. The air was warm and fragrant, and the sound of birdsong filled the air. Through the trees, he could see a sparkling river, and in the distance, a castle of shimmering white stone. "Where am I?" he asked, his voice echoing strangely in the stillness. "What have you done?" The woman smiled enigmatically. "You are in the place you have always dreamed of, Finnegan O'Reilly. Here in the Forest of Lost Dreams, we grant each traveler their heart's desire." And indeed, as Finnegan looked around him, he realized that this place was perfect. In every way, there was nothing more he could possibly want or need. But as the realization dawned on him, a profound sadness washed over him. "But how?" he whispered. "How can this be my dream when I don't remember dreaming of it?" The woman's smile faded, replaced by a look of infinite sadness. "Because," she said softly, "you have forgotten. This is the price we pay for the gift of dreams. Once you step into our realm, your memories of the outside world begin to fade, replaced by the dreams that consume your waking thoughts." Terror seized him. He wanted to scream, to tear his throat out, to call for help. But no sound escaped his lips. He tried to run, to break free of this idyllic prison, but his feet were rooted to the spot. The woman approached him, her eyes filled with pity. "Don't struggle, Finnegan O'Reilly," she said gently. "It is too late. You are one of us now. You belong here in the Forest of Lost Dreams." And as the tendrils of his consciousness slipped away, slipping into the darkness, he understood the terrible truth. The Forest of Lost Dreams didn't merely trap travelers in their deepest desires. It fed on their souls, leaving behind only empty shells. prisoners of a paradise that didn't exist. As the sun rose the following morning, casting its golden rays over the emerald hills of Ireland, the locals gathered at the edge of the Whispering Wood. They had come to pay their respects to the latest victim claimed by the Forest of Lost Dreams, a young man named Finnegan O'Reilly, whose absence had been felt deeply in their small community. They did not know what manner of magic was at play within the forest, only that once someone stepped into its depths, they were forever lost. With heavy hearts, they laid a small cairn of stones at the base of the great oak, a silent tribute to a friend that would never return. And as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the memory of Finnegan and others like him faded into the mists of time, becoming little more than a cautionary tale whispered around hearth fires on dark winter nights. But some say that on nights when the moon is full and the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, you can still hear the whispers in the trees and the mournful cries of the lost souls calling out to you from beyond the grave. Do you dare to visit the Forest of Lost Dreams? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, make sure to leave a like for more chilling tales. Thanks for watching.